chance becomes a sort of providence, which, under the cover of atheism, is not named, but which is secretly worshipped. These words belong to the famous zoologist Pierre-Paul Grasset, former president of the French Academy of Sciences, and himself an evolutionist, and summarize how evolutionists adopt the concept of chance as their god. According to the theory of evolution, life was born entirely through natural causes and by chance, and developed at random. In other words, evolutionists regard chance as divine and claim that it is so rational, conscious, and powerful as to be able to create all the sensitive systems and living things in the universe. In their view, the universe we live in, furnished with countless delicate balances, millions of different species of living things, and structures that possess exceedingly complex structures and features, all gradually came into being as the result of chance. The fact is, however, today such scientific fields as biology, paleontology, genetics, biochemistry, and microbiology that life could never in any way come into being by itself as the result of chance and natural conditions.
That is because just one single living cell is a great miracle of creation that is sufficient on its own to entirely invalidate the concept of chance. This superior creation in living things is the proof that they were created by God, Lord of superior wisdom, and
during the we will be seeing how the flawless balances in the universe, the miraculous things, totally invalidate the idea of life having a human being by chance. Witness how evolutionists avoid admitting the truth of the existence of God. Think about the things you see from the moment you wake up in the morning. The mirror every morning. Keys that open your car door. Long way. The billboard, cars. And it occurred to you that each of these things was produced for a special purpose. No one would say that everything was where it should be when you arose in the morning. That is because, with the exceedingly complex details, every one of them is an example of design. What about the people you walk along, or the trees you pass by, the flowers, the sky above you? By chance, do you think? You want their reason and conscience without being swayed by any will immediately that living things and human beings cannot be the work of chance. They will understand an almighty God who created the living things. In all ages, however, there will be this clear reality, or rather who saw it, but ignored it. These people sometimes are professors, researchers, or paleontologists with long they claim that these birds, clouds, houses, cars, you, everything animate and inanimate, is all people all through history so lost all rationality as to be able to regard totems and the statues they carved with their own hands as divine. That is made of mud could possess creative power. These people who refer to the divine entity are in exactly the same position. God refers to these people in the Quran thus. He to whom the kingdom of the heavens and the earth belong. He does not have a son, and he has no partner in the kingdom. He created everything and permitted it mostly. But they have gods which do not create anything, but are themselves created. Or life. According to evolution, a totally imaginary claim, in the of the explosion of the bang, atoms in some way managed to create themselves a very sensitive equilibrium. Some of the atoms that spread out at random came together by and formed stars and planets in space, while others formed our Earth. Some of the atoms that formed our planet formed the soil on it, and later, suddenly, these atoms then multiply, dividing into two, and here, rather than simply combining atoms such as carbon, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, and iron together with an extraordinary complexity, the secrets of have been fully fathomed even these branch three-dimensional of a quality far exceeding any technology today. Atoms then turned into university professors, studied themselves under electron microscopes, and found that they had come into being by chance. Chance is the theory of evolution. Despite the illogical nature of these claims of chance, a great many people with a vast from scientists to professors, from doctors to researchers, logical theory. Let us now examine this claim by means of a very simple, in order to provide the necessary reply to evolutionist imaginary scenario. Let anyone who believes in the creative power of chance events take a large barrel. Let them put into it however much material they believe is required to form. For example, needed elements, carbon, phosphorus, calcium. Let them go even further and let amino acids and not one of which could possibly come into being. Into this, subject this mixture to all kinds of external influences. For example, let it be struck by lightning. Let them stir the substances they have placed into the barrel with whatever device, for as long as they choose, at whatever speed they choose. Let them stand guard on this barrel, transferring the responsibility from father to son for millions, even years. Let them consult others. Meet the world's foremost biologists and experts on evolution. The result will never be any different. Despite all the serious conscious effort, they'll never be able to produce. No matter what they do, they'll never be a bird, multicolored rabbit, horse, other animals from the class. Despite they're all growing in the soil and being watered with the same water, they can never, ever produce fruit, which all taste so very different from water. Let them never will they produce brilliant scientists like Einstein and complex artists like Michelangelo and musicians like Beethoven and Mozart, the human spirit, discoverers able to examine under the molecules and atoms out of which they themselves are composed, or those able to design automobiles and write books, thinkers with faculties of logic and judgment, able to contain and remember what they have learned, longings, feelings, and pleasure, who are possessed with a sense of love, mercy, and compassion, who enjoy the taste of food. If so, if no living thing can ever be produced, and the whole pool of human knowledge might be taught to be with the aid of unconscious atoms. All positive sciences are very clearly, definitively, and irrefutably proved that can be produced in the laboratory by burning inanimate together, let alone by man. If life exists, it must have a creator. If billions of inanimate come together, they can never come alive by themselves or possess consciousness. It is God, with superior intellect, infinite knowledge, and matchless power who create all these entities. Your Lord created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and then settled himself firmly on the throne. He covers the day with the night urgently, and the sun and the moon are subservient to his command. Both and blessed be God, the Lord. Formation of the universe and its rate of expansion, the location of the earth in the Milky Way, light the level of the atmosphere, narrowly delicate balance shows very differently and not be the end. In a large and small, very important part of a large order, or any of their movements is random. On the contrary, their countless details known to us so far have been created and especially adjusted for a particular purpose. Of all the innumerable factors influencing the balances in the universe, a change in the position of just one planet is enough to bring chaos. But these balances are never upset. The universe continues on, in its perfect order, with no problems. All of this is a result of God's supreme power in creation. He who created the 7 heavens in layers. You will not find any flaw in the creation of the All-Merciful. Look again. Do you see any gaps? Then look again and again. Your sight will return to you.
The universe's perfect structure, even Charles Darwin, the architect of the theory of evolution, to admit there is no room for chance in its creation.
As he wrote, "This conviction in the existence of God follows from the extreme difficulty, or rather impossibility, of including man with his capacity of looking far backwards and far into futurity as the result of blind chance or necessity." Another vitally important balance in the universe is the distance between the moon and the Earth. That distance is of the greatest importance to the survival of life on Earth, and in terms of the maintenance of many other balances.
Indeed, the slightest variation in the distance between the two bodies could give rise to significant imbalances.
For example, if the moon were much closer to the Earth, it would crash into our planet. If much farther away, it would move off into space. If it were much closer, the tides that the moon causes on the Earth would become dangerously larger. Ocean waves would sweep across low-lying sections of the continents. A more distant moon would reduce tidal action, making the oceans more sluggish. Stagnant water would endanger marine life, yet it is that very marine life that produces the oxygen that we breathe. That could lead to the disappearance of all life.
The distribution of heavenly bodies in the universe is created exactly to conform to the needs of human life.
These distances directly affect the orbits and even the existence. The distribution of the heavens and the huge empty spaces between them are essential to life on Earth. In his book, Symbiotic Universe, American astronomer George Greenstein explains the importance of the distances between heavenly bodies.
Has been somewhat closer, astrophysics would not physical processes occurring within stars, nebulas, and the like would have proceeded unchanged. The appearance of our galaxy as seen from some far distant vantage point. Only difference would have been the view of the nighttime sky from the grass on which I lie, which would have been yet richer with stars. And oh yes, one more small change. There would have been no me to do the viewing.
All these facts show that there are perfect systems in the universe, consisting of most delicate balances that are essential for life. There can be no doubt that these cannot be the work of an order established by chance or unconscious atoms. The entire universe is full of evidence of the matchless knowledge and infinite might of God, the Lord of the worlds. In the Quran, God reveals that God, there is no God but Him, the living, the self-sustaining. He is not subject to drowsiness or sleep. Everything in the heavens and the earth belongs to Him. Who can intercede with Him?
Conscious atoms have created living things, a marvel of creation, but perfect teachers.
Such things are impossible. God, the Lord of the world, who created living things with the marvelous together with the favorable conditions that allow every living thing in the universe to grow and thrive. An evolution, but another scientist, on the basis of research he did in paleontology and biology, concluded that the theory of evolution was invalid. Here he wrote true thoughts about the variety of species. What variety would be among living things, both variation within kind and the dependent number of different kinds, but are awed by the spectacular variation and function we see both within and among the incredible quality of living things that create our planet. Why? Darwin described the anxiety he experienced upon seeing the perfection in animals that invalidated his theory.
Remember well that only complex structure cold all over. I have to complain, and now trifling particulars of structure often make me very uncomfortable. The sight of a feather in a peacock's tail when peacock that made sick as he looked at them, and all the marvels in nature are created by means of which we can comprehend the mind of God, who created from nothing, and by which we can properly appreciate power.
God mentioned this fact in the Quran. And the earth, how we spread out and cast firmly embedded mountains onto it, and cause luxuriant plants of every kind to grow up, an insight and a reminder for every human being who will learn to God. Are too obviously illogical to need God. That skyscrapers in the middle of a city in rising major difficulty in forward these claims, which are based on no scientific findings whatsoever. Counting the human soul cannot explain in the least how it happens that matter of man, chance, bring about a thinking human being himself and laugh, one able to experience art and excitement, one who can produce a work of art, compose music, enjoy the smell and taste of food, who can defend, discover, government and travel into properties are the result of man having with a God. He can be a healthy and willful being, to whom God breathes his spirit. Truth has been revealed in the verses of the Quran. He who has created all things in the best possible way, commenced the creation of man from clay, then produced the fluid, then formed him and breathed his spirit into him, and gave you hearing, sight, and heart. What little thanks you owe. Seven and perfect hearing systems. The visual system is so developed that no can produce technology that the human eye can afford. Human ear is more advanced than the most modern sound system. Doctors believe that these visual and sound systems of are exceedingly irrational. Our aim is to deny the manifest and certain fact of creation. He knows what is before them and what is in them, but they have grasp knowledge save what he wills. His footstool encompasses the heaven and the earth, and their preservation does not tire him. He is the Most High, magnificent. Flowers are such sweet-smelling natural wonders. Fruit are their wonderful flavors and catches of vitamins. Trees supply oxygen for living things. These are among the wonderful blessings that God has given to human beings. Systems too complex and provide advantages too indistinguishable for them to be the least attributable to chance. Any seeds you see contain 60 times more information than an encyclopedia. When planted in the ground, the information turn it into a flower or a tree. From every seed emerges a plant different in taste, smell, color, size. Together, soil, small seeds can produce colorful flowers, sweet-smelling aromas, and perfumed food. That is one of the creative miracles of Almighty God. In the Quran, it says, "Have you thought about what you cultivate? Is it you who make it germinate, or are we the germinator? If we wished, we could have made it broken stubble. You would then be left to wonder." For millions of years, their planets on Earth have known what they must do and when they must do it, thanks to a program stored in their seeds, and carry it out without error. A peach tree never grows from a cherry, nor does a strawberry ever come from the... It is surely impossible for no brain, eyes, or intelligence to put such a perfectly working program into our... The idea that this system can have been functioning perfectly for millions of years due to the success of chance occurrences is a fantasy that all sensible people will find ridiculous. It is God who creates plants. This fact is revealed in the Quran. It is He who sends down water from the sky, from which we bring of every kind. And from that we bring forth the green shoots. And from them we bring forth seeds. And from the spathe of the date palm, date and gardens of grapes and olives and pomegranates, both similar and dissimilar. Look at their fruit as they bear fruit and ripen. There are signs in that for people who believe. One of which is equipped with the most appropriate for the environment, most appropriate for its needs.
Some born with powerful muscles, others with highly sensitive ears, some with eyes able to see already underwater, and others with bodies able to withstand the longest of journeys.
So, who gave them the information they needed to for an never yet seen? How did the newborn lung be able to utilize the oxygen in the atmosphere, or that a fish it will need to use the oxygen dissolved in the water it swims in? They need lightweight skeletons in order to fly, that sea-going penguins need oil or water, that eagles need sharp eyes to see their prey from thousands of meters above the ground, pecker need a suspension system to protect its head from serious concussion.
How could chance and
There is absolutely no doubt that lifeless, unconscious atoms cannot think. They are ignorant of physical laws and cannot make mathematical calculations. They cannot become engineers who construct dams that restrain tons of water or huge skyscrapers. They cannot use a computer, play the piano, or compose pleasant music.
Darwinism is a blindness more serious and incomprehensible than the ancient Egyptians' belief in the sun god Ra, the totems of some African tribes, the sun worship of the Sabians, the handmade idols of the people of Abraham, and the worship of the golden calf by the children of Israel.
Points out in the Quran. In several verses, he says that some people will have their judgment clouded and fall into such a wretched state as to be unable to see the truth. Of them listen to you, but we have placed covers on their hearts, preventing them from understanding it, and heaviness in their ears. Though they see every sign, they still have no belief. When we look at a picture, we know that it is the work of a conscious, capable, experienced, and knowledgeable painter. Even if we do not see the painter, we still have no doubts as to his existence. Nobody can possibly maintain that the picture came into being as a result of paint being accidentally spilt onto the canvas. Someone who likes these pictures directs his creation not to the paintings themselves, but to their architect, the painter who made them. All the beauties we see around us belong to God, their creator. Only God, the incomparable creator of all, is deserving of praise and thanks. People who believe in the most illusory and unscientific claims of evolution under their scientific mask, and who devote their lives to defend will be humiliated when the truth is revealed. Indeed, the American writer Malcolm Muggeridge, who was a proponent of evolution and atheism for many years before realizing his error and becoming a believer, says, "I'm convinced that the theory of evolution, when applied, will be one of the great jokes in the history books in the future. Posterity will marvel that so very flimsily and dubious an hypothesis could be accepted with the that it has." This day is not far off. In fact, it's quite near. When we understand that chance is not a god, and realize that the theory of evolution has been the big that is because the truth of creation is evident. As stated in the Quran, it is Almighty God who gives human beings all they possess, and who creates the universe in which we live. What a person must do, therefore, is to know God, the creator of all, and to give thanks to him. Say, who provides for you out of heaven and earth? Who controls? Who brings forth the living from the dead and the dead from the living? Who directs the whole affair? They will say, God. So will you not guard against evil? That is God, your Lord, the truth. And what is there after truth except misguidance? So how have you been distracted?